Ink Ribbon.
In celebration of the remake of Resident Evil 2, I decided to take a look back at the original game and talk about some secrets and Easter eggs that you may or may not be aware of. I tried really hard to research and find the most obscure things I could, but I also wanted to keep in the ones we all know and love. I'll also be including Easter eggs from all versions of the original, since some secrets are only found in certain ports. And with that, let's head back to Raccoon City with Leon and Claire. These are the top 10 Resident Evil 2 secrets and Easter eggs.
Number 10.
Gold Emblem.
Leon!
When you reach the STAR's office, you can see a great Easter egg that most people probably skip right over. In Resident Evil 1, one of the key items that you need to progress in the mansion is a gold emblem. If you look closely, right next to Jill's desk, there is a box containing none other than that emblem. How exactly it got back after, well... yeah, nobody knows. Maybe Barry or Rebecca held onto it? Actually, while we're in the STAR's office, let's look at a bonus Easter egg. Behind Rebecca's desk on the bulletin board, on the wall there is a picture, which, when examined closely, is actually a picture from Back to the Future 3. Because you can't get more random than that.
Number 9.
Arukas. Near the beginning of the game in the first scenario, there is a storefront in the background called Arukas. Flipping around Arukas spells out Sakura, which is the name of a character in Street Fighter, also made by Capcom.
Number 8.
Change soda machine. Throughout the RPD, there is not one single bathroom, which is interesting considering the vast number of vending machines you can find. But the vending machines have an interesting bit of controversy behind them. Depending on which version of the game you have, you may notice some differences between the vending machines in the game. In the original PS1 release of the game, there were various machines labeled what appears to be Cocoa Soda, written in a very familiar font and put on a blue can. Given the success of the game, it didn't take long before Coca-Cola dropped a lawsuit, telling Capcom to change the machines. After that, with the release of the DualShock version and all subsequent releases, the machines were all changed to a generic soda. And in some cases, machines were changed entirely, like the one in the hall where Sherry runs away from Leon.
Number 7.
Beta Liquor Head. In the beta version of Resident Evil 2, no, not 1.5, the actual beta, there was a different cutscene for the liquor which was far less dramatic. In this beta cutscene, a zombie's head falls from the ceiling, causing you to look up and be greeted with a liquor dropping down. While we were given the infinitely cooler cutscene in the final version, there is still remnants of this beta version if you look closely. This only occurs the first time you meet the liquor, but if you look closely from this camera angle, you can see the zombie's head is still there above. If you leave and come back, it disappears.
Number 6.
Dead Hunter. In Resident Evil 2, there are no hunters present throughout the game, but if you happen to play the N64 port of the game, you can find one dead. Once you get to the second scenario and you have entered both Leon's and Claire's fingerprints into the locked laboratory security door, inside you will find an already dead hunter. What's especially interesting about this hunter is that it didn't officially appear in any game as an enemy until Resident Evil Outbreak in 2003.
Number 5.
Burger Kong. Apparently, Burger King isn't as strict as Coca-Cola. This hidden Easter egg is pretty visible in a few places in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but it's actually first seen in Resident Evil 2. In the RPD office through the double blue doors, there's a sneaky zombie hanging out on the floor hoping you'll just run past him and he doesn't have to take a bite out of your foot. Most players do exactly that, but did you know there's a secret camera angle here? If you kill the zombie on the floor and return, you're treated to an alternate camera angle that reveals the logo. Bam.
Number 4.
Spelling mistake. With translations are bound to be mistakes, especially when a game is being made in a country that doesn't primarily speak English. Resident Evil is no exception. When you reach the final boss in the first scenario, you may have been too busy fighting off William Birkin to notice, but if you look closely at the writing on the floor, you can see that the word elevator is actually misspelled. At least it's not as bad as when they misspelled Revelations on the actual game cases, right?
Number 3.
The locked door. Okay, so this might just be me, but hopefully you were confused about this as well. As you approach the statue puzzle in the RPD, there's a door that seems to have blood or red or something on it and is unopenable. Unlike Silent Hill, where 80% of the doors are forever locked, Resident Evil doors are pretty much all openable, except for this one. As far as I know, this is the only door in the whole game that you can't open. My first time playing this, my 12-year-old brain wondered about so many things that could be behind the door, and then one day I decided to take a look at the map, and I realized I had already been on the other side. The red on the door is actually from this light, and the door has a hole in it, which Sherry crawls through. The reason the door is unopenable is because it's nailed shut on the other side. Not technically an Easter egg, but man did that bother me for so many years.
Number 2.
Shooting the screen. I did say I'd be mentioning ones we know and love, right? For those of you who don't know, in Resident Evil 2, there are a few places in the game where if Leon is angled at exactly the right way and points his shotgun at the screen, you can actually see bullet holes appear as if he shot the camera. It's not clear why they included this little egg, but it's oddly charming and satisfying. I also don't know of any other game that's ever included something like this, but either way it's awesome and we don't know why.
Number 1.
The secret angle. Okay, so everybody probably knows about this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Once you've killed the zombies in the area, go to the front of the RPD entrance. When facing away from the RPD, move towards the far wall. If you keep walking or running for a few seconds, the angle will switch, revealing an area only accessible in Resident Evil 3. It's unconfirmed, but apparently this was going to be an area for the player, but had to be scrapped due to time constraints. Though it was brought back in Resident Evil 3. Hopefully we get to explore it in the remake. And there you have it, 10 Easter eggs that I scoured to find for your entertainment. If any of these surprised you, click that like button, and feel free to subscribe to my channel for more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name's Kai Morgan, and thanks for watching Ink Ribbon.